with theater and special events, but listen up, producers. If you need some of this cool stuff for your next flick, you'll probably want to give Buffalo Props a starring role. For the Now Buffalo, I'm Mike Randall.
Mike, thank you. An old and abandoned warehouse on Washington Street has been restored and transformed into loft-style apartments and retail space. City and state leaders cut the ribbon today on the brand new Alexander Apartments. The building once housed theater props and stage equipment like we just showed you, but like other buildings on the 500 block of Washington, it sat abandoned for a couple of years. Well, now the woman who owns the building says that's starting to change.
Years ago, you walked through this block and it was derelict and it was sad. But now I think building by building, regular people like all of our neighbors down here on the 500 block, they're not big developers. They really are just regular Joes that want to see their city improve, and they're willing to spend the money to do it.
There are only 12 lofts in the building, and they'll cost between $1,500 and $2,200 a month for rent.
Turning to the Now News feed, New York Congresswoman Louise has died. The Democrat was 88 years old. Slaughter went to the hospital after falling at her D.C. home last week, and she was treated for a concussion. She was one of the longest-serving House Democrats. Massachusetts could get rid of a rule that erased former football star Aaron Hernandez's murder conviction with his death. This rule is centuries old. Hernandez killed himself in jail last year, and the court denied prosecutors' request to reinstate his conviction after his death. People who had loans to go to a now closed for-profit college may not get all their money back. The Department of Education has told some Corinthian college students it will only forgive part of their loan. The Trump administration is easing regulations on for-profit schools. Deciding where to go and how to get there, it can be tough if you're looking for wheelchair or even stroller access. Now, 2 websites are trying to help families with some new filters. Let's say you're looking for a way to get to the museum downtown, but you don't want to drive. Well, now with Google Maps, you'll be able to find a wheelchair accessible route that'll let you know where you can find ramps and elevators. Now, right now it's only being rolled out in major cities like New York and Boston, but what you would do is you go on Google Maps, say where you want to go, just like you normally would, and you click under route options, the wheelchair accessible ones. All right, and if you're looking for a place to go while on vacation, Airbnb also adding a helpful feature. You can now find homes that are wheelchair ready. That includes searches for places with elevators, ramps, even showers that are wheelchair accessible. All right, let's get back to our lineup right now because a major grocery store brand, it is facing a new lawsuit, and it's over its eggs, more specifically how they're being sold to us. They cost more, but are you really getting what you're paying for? You're watching The Now. When you're grocery shopping, there are a lot of choices when it comes to eggs. Regular, cage-free, free-range. Now an animal rights group suing Trader Joe's, claiming the images on its cage-free eggs, they aren't really showing how the hens that lay those eggs live. The Now's investigative reporter Jace Larson looking into this further for us.
Cage-free eggs are popular. They cost more, but we think they come from hens that live a better life, right? Well, this week, the Animal Legal Defense Fund filed a lawsuit against Trader Joe's.
Trader Joe's packages its cage-free eggs in cartons covered with bucolic imagery of hens enjoying pasture, grazing in grass, being in the sun outdoors.
The Animal Legal Defense Fund's Tyler Lobdell talked to us on Skype.
In reality, we have found that Trader Joe's cage-free eggs come from hens that live their entire lives confined to industrial warehouses. They do not have access to the outdoors or grass to forage in or sunlight to enjoy.
And we want to move very slowly. Okay.
Last year, our investigation showed how these hens really lived. Their eggs end up in American grocery stores and are labeled as cage-free.
The difference between a cage-free and a cage facility is that they've essentially just taken the walls out, but they're still cramming birds in to huge industrial sheds where they're lined up shoulder to shoulder.
That was Wayne Husing with the animal rights group Direct Action Everywhere early last year. Members of his group sneak into large egg farms to document conditions. There are no federal rules saying what cage-free actually means, but in general it means that hens can peck the ground and aren't confined to a cage like these hens. It's hard to know where eggs from farms like this end up, but they have been linked to large grocery chains. The group that filed the lawsuit against Trader Joe's now wants the packaging changed.
Essentially what we request of them, that they sell their eggs in packaging that accurately describes the living conditions that the hens experienced when laying the eggs, And hopefully they will agree with us that consumers are misled and that it is a violation of law for them to continue using this particular package.
Trader Joe's told us they have not seen the lawsuit and can't comment, but they did say that they're committed to ensuring their eggs are labeled correctly. Jace Larson, The Now.
Tomorrow, the UB men's basketball team will do something it's never done before: play in the second round of the NCAA basketball tournament. Fans going crazy for the UB Bulls after the men pulled off an impressive 21-point win over the 4th seed Arizona Wildcats. That means they are moving on to play the 5th seed Kentucky Wildcats tomorrow evening. Fans say this is a sign that momentum for UB and Buffalo sports is growing.
Just to watch everybody be really excited like we were when the Bills went to the playoffs. Everyone's extremely excited about this.
I was telling my 20-year-old son this is the best moment in Buffalo sports in his lifetime.
In my opinion, from football to basketball to any sport, we're coming up.
You can catch the action. The UB men tip off at 5:15. The UB women will also have their chance at the big dance. They'll play South Florida and Tallahassee tomorrow at 1:30. That sound only means one thing. It is St. Patrick's Day weekend here in Western New York. Our local ties to Ireland are on full display right now. Irish flags line the streets in South Buffalo. And today, hundreds of community members and community leaders turned out for the annual luncheon that they had. And check this out. Buffalo River Works has turned their ice green for families who want to spend some time skating this weekend. The guys behind the Emerald Rink say, "We love our winters here in Western New York, but sometimes we do need a little reminder that spring is on the way."
Keep going outside. Spring's right around the corner. It is coming sometime. It's been cold, but it will come at some point. This kind of just gives us a little taste of spring with the color and keeps going with the winter traditions.
I think it looks pretty good. And of course, we can't forget about the 2 big parades happening this weekend. The Old Neighborhood Parade kicks off at noon tomorrow at the Valley Community Center in South Buffalo. The city's parade will make its way down Delaware Avenue starting at 2 on Sunday. Make sure to look for all of us, the 7 Eyewitness News family. We will be at the parade, Autumn, one of my favorite events that we participate in every single year.
It's a very crazy day, not only participating in it, but watching the sea of green around
you and I
us.
have been engulfed in that couch that they have. Yeah, that's been fun.
They just bring you on over.
Well,
it's a lot of fun.
So a lot of people obviously want to know what the weather's going to be like for all of the festivities this weekend.
Right. This weekend, okay, so we have the Old First Ward Parade on Saturday. Tomorrow, let's take a look at it. Temperatures are going to be in the 30s. We are going to see a ton of sunshine as well. It will still be a little bit of a breeze to contend with for St. Patrick's Day, with winds at around 10 to 15 miles an hour. But we're going to see temperatures, highs, close to the 40-degree mark. Sunshine and 40 degrees, let me tell you, that is going to feel absolutely fantastic. And then spring, it's in the 4-day. It's going to be freezing though, 32 degrees. Those overnight lows are also going to be quite chilly. Just enjoy the sun over this weekend and enjoy St. Patrick's Day tomorrow.
We go now to Puerto Rico, where it's been nearly 6 months since Hurricane Maria hit. 120,000 homes and businesses are still in the dark, and tens of thousands are searching for safe water to drink. And obviously a lot of backlash coming from the island as they desperately ask the U.S. government for help. Now, here's a look at just how bad they need that help. Maria caused about $100 billion worth of damage in September, and the island was supposed to get $23 billion to rebuild, but up until now, they've only received a fraction of that. Puerto Rico's official death toll hasn't changed since December. It shows only 64 people have died, and we say only because other death stats show that at least 1,000 more people have died. All right, let's turn back to our news feed right now. You've been paying a hefty bill for Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin's travel. Washington Watchdog Group says he's abused access to government planes. He racked up nearly $1 million on both business and personal trips that could have been used with commercial flights, the group says. Home values went up last year, and if you're a homeowner, you may have benefited from that. New report by CoreLogic says homeowners gained the most value since 2013. States California and Washington saw the most growth. Well, if your bracket isn't busted already, here's an interesting way to put your chances of getting that perfect March Madness bracket into perspective. You have a better shot at landing either Mega Millions or Powerball's jackpots. Mega Millions draws tonight, Powerball is tomorrow. There's a new way to take an Uber, and it's cheap. If you don't mind walking, possibly waiting, and if you've never used Uber, we found it's something you may want to consider to save a little money. The Now's Andy Taylor puts Express Pool to the test.
Express Pool is the new way to take Uber, and once you plug in your location, the new option should show up. So we're going to give it a go and see if it works.
Just like you would request a regular Uber ride, Express Pool is the same process.
Okay, once I plugged in my location, Express Pool did pop up. Of course, it's all the way to the left because it is the cheapest option. And then you have the regular pool that we all know right next to it. That's $5.83, whereas the new Express Pool is $4.96. So it's about $1 less expensive.
I'm headed to the regional Uber headquarters, and the app's telling me both pools get me there at the same time.
Welcome to Express Pool.
Once I requested the Express, this is where things were different.
Hang tight, it takes a bit of time to map you out.
Uber asked me to walk to meet my driver.
Walk to northeast corner of Lincoln Street and 7th Avenue.
Usually, it's only a few blocks away, but I guess it's supposed to help avoid detours and make pickups faster.
The driver is gonna show up in 6 minutes.
Once you figure out where to go, it's just a waiting game.
I'm at the right location.
5 minutes turned into another 5 minutes. I realize the driver must be picking up passengers ahead of picking up me, which may or may not delay my ride.
Here he is, yay! So here we are in the Uber, and we're doing the Express. Clearly, we have 2 other passengers here.
With a packed car, we're off to my destination.
So many customers.
Our driver, Marlon, says Express Pool is great if you're not in a hurry and need a cheap ride somewhere.
A person order a ride, if they're going in that same direction, they can actually